Hi everybody, Coach Eric here, and I'm going to take you through a presentation called Budgeting Success for Financial Freedom, how to go from survival to stability in your finances. And I want you guys to know that this is the exact methodology that I followed to get myself out of trouble and into a position of financial freedom. So I hope it will be really beneficial to you, and I hope that you'll also share this information with your children and your family and your friends, because goodness knows we could all use some help. I'm coming to you live from my world shed quarters, right? Which was part of this story, is that I got to create financial freedom for myself and leave my job, and I can actually work out of this beautiful shed, which I love, in my yard and be around my family all day long. Okay, so let's get started. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and jump right into a presentation that I have prepared for you guys. So you should be now seeing my presentation. Budgeting for Financial Success, how to get from survival to stability in your finances. Before we get started, make sure that you have downloaded the fill-in workbook as well as the Financial Freedom worksheets. We want to make sure that you have those. You can get those at teamjohnsonfitness.com/finances, and also that you have a pad, paper, and a calculator, and access to your bills, to your credit card and checking account statements, okay? So make sure you have all that. If you don't, pause the video, go get that and get ready, because this isn't just the kind of thing where you're gonna hear stuff and pick your navel in. I want you to work. And when we're finished with this presentation, you will have a spending plan for your family. Okay, let's go. My story. What can I tell you other than I'm a big screw up? I've screwed up so bad, it's ridiculous. Okay, so my financial story I had a great dad, taught me a lot of stuff, but he wasn't real good with money. He declared bankruptcy a few times that I'm aware of, and I kind of followed in his footsteps. Graduated from college, had some debt, quickly messed up and made that debt massive, right? And then it started compounding against me. Compound interest is not your friend unless you're ahead of it. And I got so far underwater, I didn't know what to do. It became completely overwhelming. But here's what I will tell you, is that I had a mentor who took me in and taught me what I'm about to teach you. And I was able to get myself not only out of debt, but rebuild my credit, rebuild my self-confidence, and create financial freedom for myself. My credit was so bad that in the late 90s, I had to have a cosigner to get a Blockbuster video rental card, just so you guys know. So there is hope, okay? Let's go, and we'll share some of this wisdom with you guys. Our goals for today: one, I want you to have a clear picture of your current financial reality. The wake-up call is the first step, okay, guys? The second thing we want is I want you to have a written draft of a personal spending plan, okay? We can call it a budget or a spending plan, depending on how comfortable you are. Some of you guys will run from the word budget. Fine, let's call it a spending plan. All a budget is spending your money on purpose. It's not withholding your money, it's spending it on purpose, not on accident, okay? There's a reason why every single word describing money has to do with water, because it's meant to flow. It flows, right? It's currency, it's liquid. All of that stuff is water, and you have to direct. You can't hold water, but you can direct it, okay? All right, next. What we're gonna cover: one, we're gonna set financial goals, and I'm gonna show you how to do it, okay? Two, how to actually create a budget. Three, some financial strategies to help you succeed. Okay, let's get into the philosophy of budgeting. Another name for budget is spending plan. I just talked about this, spending plan, okay? Financial freedom is about being intentional about how you spend your money. Okay, I'll let you catch up with those fill-ins. About how you spend your money. Most people are not intentional about how they spend their money. That's why they don't have any left. There's only one way to financial freedom. Sorry guys, I had a little technical glitch there. That was exciting. There's only one way to financial freedom, and that's having a budget. That's having a budget. So just so you know, there's no shortcut to this. There is no shortcut to this. Why do people win the lottery and then go broke within a year? Because getting money is not the way to financial freedom. The way to financial freedom is having a plan for that money, okay? I could give you $1 billion and you still won't be financially free. You need a plan for that money. The primary obstacle to budgeting is that people feel overwhelmed. People feel overwhelmed. Guys, and I know how this feels. I know how this feels. When I started this process, I had already declared bankruptcy and was still in debt almost $60,000. Isn't that crazy? And I was so overwhelmed. When I was told by my mentor that I could do this, that I could pay it off, that I could be solvent again, it was overwhelming to even consider that. I had nothing left at the end of the month. But here's the thing, you can do it. Take a deep breath. We can do this. The reason people will make rash purchases and why when they're in financial difficulty is the need for an outlet. You got to stop the madness. Okay, this was me. I had $60 left on my last credit card. I knew that it wasn't enough to make a minimum payment. So I took my then girlfriend out to dinner. One last drink on the Titanic, right? That's a rash decision because I felt like I needed an outlet. That's false thinking, guys. Okay, so you got to rein that in. You want to succeed? You got to think about what is your why? What is your why? Why does it matter? What do you need to get done? What do you need to achieve in this life? Well, if you're a father, most likely you are, if you're here on my site, if you're a father, that's a big reason. That's a big reason because, guys, our screw-ups, our kids will follow us right down the road of our screw-ups. Whatever we're bad, if we're not good at money, guess what? They're not going to be good at money either. And we want better for our kids. Okay. A budget is the vehicle for getting everything you want. Okay? Anything that you want that can be purchased with money, you can get with a budget. Doesn't matter how much your income is. But to get there, the why must be greater than the how. You have to have a reason why, guys. It has to be important. What do you want? Think about it. You guys can write this down on your pad. What are a couple of things you want? Or what do you want to avoid? What do you want to avoid? I mean, that sometimes is as powerful a motivator as what you want. I know me, I didn't want to be an old man with nothing to my name, having to rely on the government or family, whatever, just to eat. That's not what I wanted. I didn't want to be afraid anymore. I didn't want to be embarrassed anymore. What do you want? What are your goals? Okay, do you have any? We're gonna set some goals together today, but what are your goals? What are your short-term goals, your midterm, and your long-term goals financially? I'll tell you my goals, just so you have an idea of kind of what some good goals would be to get started with on finances. These were the goals that I set when I first started this process. My first goal was to get a budget that was net zero. What do I mean by that? Net zero means that I was spending the exact amount of money that I was earning. Doesn't sound very lofty, right? But you guys will find out in a minute when we go through the budgeting exercise. Most of you are probably spending more than you're earning already. So getting to net zero was my first goal. I needed to get to where I was not spending more money than I earned. My second goal was I wanted to pay off my credit cards, okay? And I wanted to get 1 month reserve cash in the bank. Okay, what is 1 month? Here's the bottom line, guys, is how much all your bills cost in a month. That's 1 month. If you have that much in cash in the bank, that's your first step. So to pay off debts and to get cash in the bank. You notice that's the same goal because you want to do those two things at the same time. I'll explain that a little bit as we go. My third goal was to pay off the student loans. The student loans, which were small and then ballooned when they went into default. My fourth goal was to get 3 months cash reserves in the bank. Okay, 3 months cash reserves in the bank. And then my fifth goal was I wanted a new TV. Okay, so I had to have just something fun that wasn't so grown up that could get me motivated. So I wanted a new TV, right? I wanted a flat screen TV. I still had a tube TV at this point. And number 6, I wanted to buy a house. I wanted to start a family. And at this point I was living in an apartment. Okay, so I wanted to buy a house. So these were my goals. Okay, your goals will be your goals, but it's important to have them, guys. You need to think about them. And you notice I've got some that are short-term, some that are mid-term, some that are long-term here, okay? Now, I had one more goal, and this was kind of my motivator, was I really wanted, oh wait, I went too far. I really wanted this car. Since I was a wee lad, I wanted a Mustang GT convertible all my life. I was in love with these cars. Now, this is a picture of my actual car that I got. Gosh, now it's 14 years old now. I still drive this car, by the way, because I love it. And it is a representative to me of getting my shit together, excuse the language. So I don't think I'll ever sell it. My wife hates it. It's loud and it rumbles. I love it. Okay, so here's the thing. I needed a fun for me goal. And I said to myself, if I could do the first 6, then I'll do number 7 for me. Whatever it is. You know, I coached somebody years ago who was passionate about flying hot air balloons. And we got her finances together with the promise that, hey, if you get your stuff together, your reward will be the hot air balloon. You buy yourself a hot air balloon and you can fly it whenever you want when you get these other things in line. It becomes your reward goal. So definitely get something fun in there, whether it's a family vacation, whatever it is that gets you fired up, do it, okay? And what was really cool about this car, guys, is that I paid cash for this car. Okay, so let's get into it a little bit more. Creating a budget step by step. Here is step one, okay? And I want you guys to go ahead and get out that financial freedom worksheet and you can start using it and writing things down. List all your fixed expenses, These are the expenses that you pay every month, okay? Things like your utilities bills, your mortgage or rent, grocery bills, right? Car payment, things like that. These are bills that you know are going to hit every single month. Now, some bills like groceries and things like that may vary a little bit, but just put a ballpark, okay? And so you need a list of all of those, everything you can think of that comes up every single month, okay? So go ahead and write those down. Go for it. Hopefully, you're writing now as we're even thinking about it. If you need help with this, get out your phone and pull up your checking account statement or your credit card statement and just look at the bills because they're just all on there. You can see them, right? So you've got your cell phone bill, all that good stuff. Okay. The next thing I want you to list are your irregular expenses. So these are things that pop up throughout the year. Things like property taxes, having to fix your car, right? I had just had to change the timing belt on my car, $1,200, right? But it's okay, it's in my budget. So put those up there, if you're not sure, typically if you have a decent used car, you can plan for about $200 every single month on maintenance. Then it'll probably happen once a year. So it's like a $1,200, $1,400 bill that happens every once in a while, okay? So property taxes. Do you take a vacation, annual vacation? Put that in there. Okay, that's an irregular expense. We need to have money for it when that comes up or else you go into debt. Okay, so list all your irregular expenses. What you do is you just get a monthly amount by dividing that number by 12, right? So if you take a vacation with your family and it costs $4,000, divide that by 12, that's how much your monthly bill for your vacation is, if that makes sense. Okay, great. Third, every other expense that you have not listed is discretionary spending. Every other expense that you have not listed is discretionary spending, but I still want you to write those down. This is your fun stuff, right? This is going out with the guys, going to movies, drinking a Starbucks latte occasionally. I don't know, whatever you do for fun. Anything that you didn't list, buying clothes, things like that. Put them in here, okay? Going to concerts, buying music, I don't care. List everything you can think of. Put these in there, okay? Just list them out. Just list them all out. Because you need to have everything down and have a realistic appraisal of where you are. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys a second to do that. And then as you're listing those out, what I want you to do is ABC your expenses. I want you to ABC your expenses. Okay, so let me just give you the definitions on this. A's, these are needs you can do nothing about now. So an A would be your mortgage or rent, right? There's nothing you can do about that. You have to pay it every month. Your utility bills, things like that. Those are things you have to pay. Insurance, right? You have to pay those. Daycare for the kids, whatever it is. Those are bills you cannot adjust. B's, these are needs that you can do something about now. I mean, you can save money on your electric bill if you are conservative in how you use your energy, right? You can reduce how much you spend on groceries by being a careful shopper. So those are maybe B's. Some of those might move into B if you feel like you can lean those up a little bit, okay? And C's are wants. C's are wants. These are things that you don't have to have, but you want to have, okay? You don't have to have, but you want to have. And I will let you decide which things those are. Okay, so I'm just going to give you guys a minute. I'll just wait. Go ahead and get those lists done and ABC them. Okay, great. And if you didn't get that finished, fine. Just pause the video and keep going and come back to us. Now what I want you to do is I want you to total your A, B, and C expenses. Okay, so total your A, B, and C expenses. Get out your calculator and just total them all up and write the total in there. okay? Your net income is how much money you get paid that actually goes in your bank. So don't worry about your income before taxes. If you get a paycheck, what is the amount of your paycheck? That is your net income, okay? So get the total of your ABC expenses and subtract it from your net income, okay? So when you get to the point where you're ready to do that subtraction, you will either have a positive or a negative number. This is the moment of truth in your financial reality. If the number is negative, then your first goal, like mine, is to get to a net zero budget. That means if your number is negative, you are actually spending more money than you're earning right now, okay? And I guarantee you there's things you forgot to list. If you have a positive number, well, that means you're in decent shape. That means you're pretty close. Like right now, based on everything you wrote down, you're actually spending less than you're earning, and you're in good shape to start. Most likely, though, you'll need to make cuts if you really want to get this together. And so you make your cuts from your B's and your C's. Okay? Make your cuts from your B's and your C's. If you guys are business owners, this is really important, guys. You have to make cuts from home to invest in your business. You don't make cuts in your business to support your home lifestyle. That does not make any sense. That's like eating the wing off your golden goose. That does not make any sense. If you're a business owner, you make cuts at home and you invest in your business, okay? You can only build a surplus. Surplus, guys, is when you're making more than you're earning, and eventually a fortune by spending less than you earn. I don't care if you make $20,000 a year, you can amass a fortune just by making less than you earn and being a good steward with that little bit of money, okay? So next step. All right, so you guys have had a little bit of your wake-up call there, which is great. Now, this is an important piece. Your savings need to be treated like an expense. You need to pay your savings account like it's a bill, okay? You have to save like it's a bill. You pay it first before you even pay your bills. It's just like your tithe to church. You pay it as a bill before you pay everything else, okay? It's important. Because a portion of everything you earn is yours to keep. This is biblical, okay? A portion of everything you earn is yours to keep. If you wait to save at the last, you won't save. But here's the thing I will encourage you guys with. My first budget, I told you, was negative. But once I got it to positive, I was able to save $13.50 a month. $13.50 a month I was able to save. I put it on an automatic transfer from my checking to my savings on the 2nd of every month after my paycheck went in. $12.50 transferred over to my savings account. It was a discipline. If you can save $1 a month, fine. Go to the bank, set it an automatic transfer, do it anyways, and as you are able to get more and more and more, you will be able to save, okay? But this is an important piece. You need to pay yourself first. Here's another important principle. Pay down debt while saving simultaneously. Pay down debt while saving simultaneously. Intuitively, you think you should get out of debt first. If you just focus all your money on getting out of debt and you're not saving at the same time, what happens when you get out of debt and there's an emergency? You've got no savings, but you've also got no debt. What do you use to get through the emergency? That's right, use credit. What does that mean? That means you have debt again. Do you see what I mean? It is a repeating cycle. So make sure that as you're paying down debt, you're also saving, okay? It's an important discipline. So do them simultaneously, guys. Building your fortune. A part of what you earn is yours to keep. Make sure you get that fill in. A part of what you earn is yours to keep. Here is the ideal budget. 70, 10, 10, 10. This is the makeup of your money, okay? 70, 10, 10, 10. Your goal is to get here. You are not going to start here, but your goal is to get here. In fact, I think I was at 99, one third when I started, okay? These are the ideal percentages. Here's how it breaks down. Your expenses, what you need to live, that's your A's and your B's and your C's combined, is 70% of your income. You need to get that down to 70% of your income, okay? Charity. Let's just be honest, guys. I'm talking about your tithe. Your tithe is 10%. Your tithe is 10%. Now, I'll be completely transparent with you. I did not start tithing until 2 years ago. I mean, I was always what I considered tithing. But here's the thing, guys. I've read this. There's so many different passages of this in the Bible, and you guys are in your Bibles, I hope, and so you know what I'm talking about. 10% is a tithe. It's not a tithe if it's less than 10%. Okay? It's an offering, but it's not your tithe. Your tithe is 10%. It's very clear. We are supposed to give 10%, guys. So here's the thing. I will just share with you. It was a long time before I was able to do it. And when the conviction was placed on my heart one day in church to really do it, I talked to my wife about it. And she also felt it that day in church. And we realized we needed to do this. We hadn't been doing it. We had been holding back God's money. And it was a lot of money, guys. It was a lot of money, 10%. I mean, it didn't seem like we had that to spend. And I remember the conversation I had with Lisa. And she said those words, "It's a lot of money, babe." And I said, you know what? We either trust God or we don't. We either trust God or we don't. This, incidentally, was the month I became a Beachbody coach. So, guys, we paid that first tithe. And guess what? That next week, I earned a commission check for the exact amount from Beachbody. Is that nuts? So here's the thing I'll tell you. Take the leap. God is going to take care of you. He is going to bless and multiply that money. So make sure that you are doing that. 10% is for your tithe. Okay, now that leaves us 20%, right? And so we want to be taking another 10% and investing it. Oh, wait a second. One of my points didn't show up on the slide, guys, but I will tell you what it is. So you've got expenses 70, your tithe 10%, aggressive investment. This is, by aggressive, I mean, this might be your 401k, your Roth IRA. This is you investing in the market. And then 10%, my last point, which isn't showing, is conservative investment. Guess what that is? That's cash in the bank. 10% is cash in the bank. Okay? Cash in the bank. Make sure you have that going on. So 70% is your expenses, 10% is your tithe, 10% goes to investment, and 10% goes to cash in the bank. Okay. Here's some ways to make your budget into a working budget, because having a budget and having one that's actually working for you are different things. Make sure you have 90-day goals. What do you hope to achieve in the first 3 months of doing this? Okay, have 90-day goals. Track daily and weekly. Do the best you can. There's some great apps out there now, guys, that you can use. Mint.com is free. I love mint.com. Track daily. It tracks all of your expenses. You can see how you're doing against your budget. Okay. There's other great apps. Dave Ramsey has some great free apps that you can use. Just Google budgeting apps and see what's there. Okay. There's some great things. Do the best you can. Weekly. Sit down with your bride once a week and go over this with her. See how you're doing. Take inventory on what you're doing. You know that tracking is the key. Tracking is the key. If you don't measure it, you can't improve it. And it's such a huge relief. At first, it feels like you're gonna fight with your wife over this, but I will tell you, when you're done, it's like, you know what? We're doing pretty well. We had a good week. That's usually what happens, and it takes the stress and the worry of the money away when you realize you're on plan. So make sure you get together. Sunday evenings is a great time to get together and just go over how you did. Ask for help or accountability. Ask for help or accountability. If you know somebody who's got this down, ask them to mentor you. Or if you've got a buddy who's going through the same thing, be accountability partners. Check in on each other. Hold each other accountable to your goals. This is another thing that I think is really important, which is settling your accounts each month and quarter. So those of you who are business owners, and if you're not a business owner but you'd like to be, you know that I'm here to help you with that, and I will help you with this too. But you want to settle your account. Your home is like a business, and you want to settle your account. You want to see how you did for the month. Did you have a profitable quarter, or did you go into the negative this quarter, right? So this is an important piece. Again, it gives you incredible peace of mind to see how your family's doing, how you're preparing for the future. And also, when you have a very profitable quarter, I think it's okay to take a little bit of that and do something fun, celebrate with the family in some way with that money. So then it becomes a game. Everybody's working towards that little celebration that you might do. Okay. It might be simple, like buying your wife a manicure and pedicure or a massage. It might be a weekend getaway. I don't know, whatever it is. And focus on the win. Focus on the win. Don't think about what you have to go without because you're on a budget. Think about what you will gain. Just a quick story here. When I first started this process, I was in my late 20s. So I was still, and I had a sister who was 12 years older than me. So she was kind of like a second mom to me. And we were at Target and we were in line. And I asked her, I said, "Hey, do you have any gum?" And she said, "No, I don't have any gum." And she goes, "Why don't you get some right there?" Because we were in line, right? And they have a pack of gum there for $1.95 or whatever. I said, "That's fine. I'll be fine." Well, what she didn't know was that I was on a budget. I was being focused on what I could do with my money. And so wasting $2 on a piece of gum that I didn't need was outside of my plan. That's how people lose their money, is $1 or $2 at a time. So it was fine. My sister, she thought I was in trouble. She thought I was so broke I couldn't afford it. So what was funny is she actually came over to my house that weekend with 2 big bags of groceries to help, right? But what she didn't know was that I was saving for something specific. And in this case, it was her favorite charity that she fundraises for that was coming up in the next month or so. And I was able to give her at that moment, which was a lot of money for me, I was able to give her a $500 donation. She's like, "How did you get $500? I said, "Because I said no to things like a pack of gum when I didn't need it." Okay. So focus on the win. What can you achieve, not what are you giving up? And I already mentioned this, but use a portion of the surplus you build to reward yourself. Okay. Use a portion of the surplus you build to reward yourself. I do recommend quarterly because your months, you'll have a good month and a bad month and a good month. So quarterly lets you kind of see, okay, how did I do over a few months and do I have a little extra? Okay, so these are some great tips to work to turn your budget into a working budget. If you guys will go through this, listen to this call again, make sure you get your budget in writing, okay? And I will have a download right here on my website on teamjohnsonfitness.com/finances. I'll have a download of a couple of different budget formats that you can download and write your budget in, okay? Or you can use online apps, whatever you want to do. You got to have it in writing because you have to have a plan. You can't just look back and say, "How did I do?" Because that's history. You need a plan of action. Okay. For those of you guys who are struggling with a lot of consumer debt, credit cards and loans, I want you to make sure you watch my training on how to pay off debt. Okay. Because I will show you, without getting too deep into the crazy finances of compound interest, I'll show you how to accelerate the pay down of your debt. Okay. So that we can get you to a place where you can start building a surplus. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope this is helpful to you. If you are watching this because you are thinking about getting involved with Team Johnson Fitness, you're looking for an opportunity to build a budget or to build a business, and you also want to make sure you do it in the right way where you're a good steward for money, I want you guys to know we're here to help you. Not only be responsible for the money you have, but to leverage that to build a business that can create more wealth for you. So thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you soon.